Iran says it has opened a new front, not just against American troops, but against American technology. Tehran now claims it struck Amazon's data infrastructure, alongside US military assets across the Gulf. HIMARS systems in Kuwait, F-15 jet and American soldiers in Jordan, all bombed in retaliation. The battlefield is expanding, and Iran is casting a wider net. Iran has issued a series of fresh military claims as the conflict with the United States continues to escalate across the Gulf, with Tehran announcing attacks on American-linked infrastructure and military assets in multiple countries. None of these claims has been independently verified. According to the IRGC-affiliated Tasnim news agency on July 21st, the IRGC claimed it struck Amazon's central data infrastructure in Bahrain with several cruise missiles, saying the facility had been destroyed. The IRGC said the attack was retaliation for US strikes on construction sites at the Darkhavane nuclear power plant in southwestern Iran. The IRGC also claimed that it carried out a deadly strike on a US military complex in Jordan's Rukban area, alleging that several American soldiers were killed, adding that a missile defense radar system and a US Air Force F-15 fighter jet had both been destroyed in Jordan. No evidence was provided, and there has been no confirmation from US officials. Meanwhile, Iran's army said it had launched fresh strikes against US military assets in Kuwait. According to the Iranian army, the attack allegedly targeted US HIMARS missile systems in Kuwait as part of Operation Sayeh.
Our ground force targeted the HIMARS systems with surface-to-surface missiles during the 18th phase of Operation Sayeh. Targeting the systems would degrade the enemy's offensive and defensive capabilities and reduce its missile strike capacity.
Iran also warned it would attack US forces even on Iranian territory if necessary. The country's army spokesman Mohammad Akraminia said,
"The countries at war may target parts of their own territory occupied by enemy forces to inflict casualties. If Americans set foot on one of our islands, we will certainly target them on those same islands, even though they belong to us."
The statement underscores Tehran's increasingly aggressive rhetoric as military tensions between Iran and the United States continue to intensify across the region. The confrontation between the United States and Iran has intensified further, with both sides claiming fresh military operations across the Gulf, while commercial shipping in the Strait of Hormuz continues to face mounting security risks. According to a statement carried by Iran's state broadcaster IRIB on July 21st, the IRGC claimed it had struck a US Patriot air defense system and radar installation in Bahrain's Muharraq area.
US Patriot air defense system in Bahrain's Al Rifa was destroyed in a coordinated missile and drone strike. The attacks were intended to pave the way for further military operations.
Iran also announced fresh attacks on US facilities in Kuwait. According to a statement carried by the semi-official Tasnim news agency, Iran's army said it had targeted Camp Arifjan, Camp Al-Adiri, Ahmed Al-Jaber Air Base, and an MQ-9 drone hangar at Ali Al-Salem Air Base, using what it described as kamikaze drones.
Our forces struck administrative buildings and direction-finding antennas at Camp Arifjan, a helicopter parking area at Camp Al-Adiri, and troop housing facilities at the Ahmed Al-Jaber base. Security in the region has been disrupted following the mischief of U.S. terrorist forces, and the armed forces of the Islamic Republic are attempting to restore security and calm to the region in their battle against the U.S.
At the same time, tensions escalated in one of the world's most critical energy corridors. The IRGC claimed that 2 oil tankers caught fire following an explosion while attempting to transit what it described as the unsafe southern route through the Strait of Hormuz.
We warn the shipping companies against relying on false information from the U.S. military and advise them to avoid routes it described as dangerous. It is obvious that as long as America's evils continue in the region, the Strait of Hormuz will be closed, and not even a drop of oil, gas, or a package of chemical fertilizer will be exported from the region.
The warning came as the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations reported that a commercial tanker off the coast of Oman had reported being struck by an unknown projectile, marking the latest security incident affecting commercial shipping in the strategic waterway. A day earlier, on July 20th, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian declared that Iran was now engaged in what he described as a full-scale war with the United States.
The reality is that today the Islamic Republic of Iran is engaged in a full-scale war. We must be realistic and accept the natural consequences of this resistance.
While Iran projected resolve, the United States said it had completed another round of military operations. According to US Central Command, on July 21st, American forces carried out fresh strikes targeting Iranian military command centers, maritime capabilities, missile and drone launch sites.
U.S. forces struck Iranian military command centers, maritime capabilities, missile and drone launch sites, and air defense systems to degrade Iran's ability to continue attacking commercial vessels flowing through the Strait of Hormuz.
According to CENTCOM, nearly 900 commercial vessels carrying around 450 million barrels of crude oil have safely transited the Strait of Hormuz since early May, underscoring the strategic importance of the waterway as military tensions continue to rise across the Gulf.
Commercial vessel transits through the vital international maritime corridor continue. Since early May, CENTCOM forces have helped facilitate the transit of approximately 900 commercial vessels and 450 million barrels of crude oil.
With both sides expanding military operations, the Gulf remains on edge as tensions increasingly threaten regional stability and global trade. Fresh intelligence assessments have raised new questions over Iran's nuclear program, with reports suggesting Tehran has relocated thousands of uranium enrichment centrifuges into a heavily fortified underground mountain complex. According to a report by the Wall Street Journal, Israeli intelligence has concluded that Iran transferred thousands of nuclear centrifuges into tunnels beneath Pickaxe Mountain, located about 1.5 kilometers south of the Natanz nuclear facility. According to the report, Israel shared the intelligence with the United States, assessing that the centrifuges were moved after the 12-day Iran-Israel war in June 2025, during which the United States and Israel struck Iran's 3 principal nuclear facilities. As per the Wall Street Journal report, Israeli officials believe previous military operations did not fully address Iran's nuclear weapons-related infrastructure.
The airstrikes carried out during the recent war did not focus sufficiently on activities related to nuclear weapons development. There was more work to be done, including at Pickaxe Mountain.
The Israeli officials suggested that further military action may be required against the underground complex, reflecting growing concern within Israel over Iran's remaining nuclear capabilities. The journal's report also points to an emerging strategic gap between Washington and Tel Aviv.
Israel's war aims have increasingly diverged from those of the United States. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has sought to persuade President Donald Trump to resume a broad military campaign against Iran in order to further delay Tehran's weapons programs and reconstruction efforts.
The assessment comes as US President Donald Trump publicly suggested that Pickaxe Mountain could become the next military target.
Pickaxe is a possible target for a nice big fat shot right near the front door. We see no activity there. They're not doing well with their nuclear situation. We'll probably give Pickaxe a shot relatively soon.
Trump's remarks came after CNN reported earlier this month that satellite imagery showed trucks entering and leaving the Pickaxe Mountain complex, potentially indicating reconstruction or renewed activity at the underground facility. Independent nuclear experts say the reported movement of equipment is technically feasible. David Albright, president of the Institute for Science and International Security, speaking to the journal, said,
"It is plausible that Iran moved centrifuges into the tunnels at Pickaxe. Construction activity at the site has continued steadily over the past 15 months, including truck traffic, tunnel reinforcements, and the establishment of a security perimeter.
At the same time, Israel does not want to fire the opening shot, but it is preparing for a moment when it could join an American operation, respond to a direct Iranian attack, or launch a preemptive strike against an imminent threat.
We are waiting. If they call us, we will come. We still have many targets, including infrastructure, nuclear facilities, missiles, and other areas. If there is a call, we will act. The IDF is ready. There is 100% coordination with CENTCOM.
The International Atomic Energy Agency has previously stated that Iran has not granted inspectors access to the Pickaxe Mountain site and has provided no information about activities taking place there. IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi said in March that Iran had informed the agency in 2021 of its intention to conduct nuclear-related activities at the location, but international inspectors have yet to verify what is currently taking place inside the underground complex.